Hey everyone, Tony Winston here for Classical Piano Workshop. I'm working on a Sonatina by Dussek, and this is a good kind of alternate piece for the sonatinas that are in Suzuki Piano Book 3. Not too difficult, but it does have some challenging parts, and I'm just going to cover the first 8 measures today. And this is to help one of my students, but for anybody learning this piece, I hope it is helpful to you as well. Let's take the right hand first. And the counting here is kind of difficult, so I kind of think that if you're not able to count it, put the left hand in because it's kind of keeping time for you. All right, first measure. Okay, let's do that again. First measure again. Yeah, let's just go that far and work on that a little bit. And I see some fingering here. You know, you've been doing thumb, 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 thumb all the way along, so I think it's fine to just go the thumb again. All right. And also right at the beginning, if you want to start with 5, because the next one is 1 and 5, that's fine too. Okay, taking the next little part. There's no fingering written in, but you're on 5 and 3, so the next one should be 4 and 2, then 1 and 3, and then you cross over with 4 and 2, and then 5 and 3 on those same 2 notes. So, starting here. It makes sense to practice that little spot right there. Little spots are the easiest things to learn, so why not learn little spots? And then you could start right there and go to the kind of the next stopping point like this. See, that's quite a jump there. You have to put your thumb under here and then jump up here with your 5. So if you practice that little spot, it won't give you any trouble. So you're starting on 1 and 3. Okay, let's go on to the next part. And here the right hand has 8th notes mostly, and the left hand has 16th notes. So you have to know that there are 2 16th notes for every 8th note, and a helpful thing to do is to, if you haven't done too much of this before, is to draw some little lines from the top notes down to the left-hand notes, from the right-hand notes down to the left-hand notes, to see when the right-hand notes play. So I'll go slowly here in measure 5. Okay, let's do that measure again. So you see when that one comes right there, you know you're counting 1 E and 2 E and the right hand is 1 E and 2 E and, or just 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Okay, and then you know we have all 8th notes and all 16th notes, so like that, an 8th note with 2 16th notes, next one, next one, and on to the next measure. So here we go, measure 5 again. Okay, now let's practice measure 6. We've got the right hand doing this. Okay, that fingering is a little odd there. Let's look at that. We're starting on 4 here up on the D. And then, I guess it would be 2. And then 1, 2. You know, 5 feels right there, but let's use 4. 4, 2, and that puts our 1 right there. So we can do that jump in the next measure. Okay, now let's just practice this measure. It's measure 6. So I didn't quite get the fingering right. I'm going to try really hard to get it right this time. The 4 here. Okay, one more time on the measure 6. And I always like to go to the first note of the next measure too. It's a better stopping point. Now, if you're studying this piece along with the video here, you might want to pause the video at certain points just to practice these things, because I'm only going to do them a couple of times, and you know, to get them to where your fingers know them really well, you know, practice them 8 or 10 times, I would say. All right, on to the third line. I guess this would be measure 7. We have our thumb here, and let me also say it's a great idea to write in fingering, especially for the right hand, where there isn't any fingering. Like right here, if you wanted to start here on D, you might not know what finger to put there unless you went back to the previous measure. So go ahead and write a 1 in here. And here's our Alberti patterns. Sorry. Okay, so here is the right hand. All right, let's practice that measure again. And notice how I'm phrasing the right hand. You know, when you have 2 notes connected by one of those lines, we call that a slur. It could be called a phrase line too, but it's really a slur. And the second note is always going to be short. And sometimes they'll write a little staccato in there. And if you look really closely, there is a staccato mark there. So make it short like that. Now let's go on to the second half of the measure. All right, let's do that again, like that. And then this part. Now, those are all 16th notes, and any place in this piece where you have 16th notes, you need to practice fast. Whichever hand has the 16th notes, you have to practice those little places pretty quickly. Let's look at measure 4. Yeah, we want to be able to do the scale that quickly. And put our thumb under at the end. And here in measure, I guess it's 8. And then the whole A section will repeat at that point. So once you've learned it down to measure 8, you really know the whole page. I'll play the A section once slowly and once up to tempo. And really, if you're just learning the piece, it can go much slower than that, like. it's important to go slow enough that you don't make too many mistakes. Okay, up to tempo, something like this. And I don't know if you could tell, but I did make a few small mistakes in there. Missed a fingering and some other note someplace. And as always, the sheet music is down there in the description. So just click on the link and then you can print it out. Very easy to do. And it's free.